Hey guys, welcome to Double Take. I'm Keys.
And I'm sick.
He's sick. His name's Jack, though. That's your real name.
Yes.
And today we're doing Call of Duty Ghosts. So obviously, this is the 10th title in the Call of Duty series. Obviously, that's obvious. There have been so many iterations that we haven't even, we've lost count. I mean, I know Call of Duty 3 was a launch title for Xbox 360, and that's all I know. How many have you played?
I remember Call of Duty 2, Modern Warfare, Black Ops. Didn't play anything else between that, and then played Ghost.
Yeah, I don't even know, man. There's way too many. But anyways, Jack is sick, if you didn't get that from the intro. Give him a little bit of slack, guys. He's going to do his best. He played the game, and you're super stoked for it.
Yes.
There you go. So, anyways, this time around in Ghosts, you play as Logan, son to a retired U.S. Army captain, Elias Walker, who was voiced by Stephen Lang from Avatar. Super badass. So it's the year 2023, and a group called the Federation, which is South American nations and other ones, I think. They've invaded the U.S., so you eventually team up with Ghosts, a group of U.S. Special Operations personnel, and try to stop the Federation from taking over the world, which is every other Call of Duty game ever.
Yeah, that's all we can pretty much say without spoiling too much.
So, gameplay. Single-player campaign. What'd you think, Jack?
Well, it was the usual starting point A, shoot your way to point C, activate something in between at point B.
Yeah. Same basic gameplay.
But, spoiler alert,
Uh-oh.
there will be firefights in space and in underwater. What the balls?
What
underwater.
the balls, indeed. And the whole time I was playing that, I was like, so wait, we're shooting in space? First of all, I thought Mythbusters did a thing on shooting underwater where the bullet doesn't go more than like a couple feet underwater. Is that was that not true? Is that not a thing? If I'm wrong, comment and let me know, because I'm not going to look it up because I'm lazy. All right. But anyways, you do fight in space and underwater. Hopefully that's not a spoiler. It's in the trailer. But yeah, so it's kind of cool. That's something cool that Call of Duty does in a lot of their games. They kind of like take the standard FPS mechanic of like you're a guy walking around with a gun, and they kind of put that in really weird situations, like the like space and underwater. And if you saw the trailer, this is not a spoiler. You're walking down like the side of a skyscraper, and there's actually a really cool part in the campaign as well where there's like a building that's half flooded. You remember that?
Yeah.
And you have to you can crouch and go underwater, and then you come up and they can see you. And I don't know, it's cool. Like it's cool to see them do that.
That was actually where I began to realize you can shoot underwater.
Right. Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you're like walking, it's like, oh, take those guys out. But I'm like underwater, holding my breath for a really long time.
Yeah.
I'm just going to shoot underwater, see what happens. And it worked.
Well, there's one point where he's like, remember, bullets aren't as effective underwater. And I was like, are they effective at all? But, I mean, maybe if I'm wrong about science, tell me there. And then there's Riley the dog.
I was really surprised that they actually let you control Riley the German Shepherd. You would basically hold like some sort of tablet device, and it's connected to a camera on Riley, and you'd be able to go like, Riley, attack, and then he'd go straight for the jugular, which I thought was pretty insane.
Straight for the jugular.
But then Keys over here was
he's an attack dog.
Yeah, he's an attack dog.
I mean, what do you want him to do? Give him a nip on the arm? And it was kind of weirdly personal for me playing with Riley the dog, because behind the scenes my real name is Riley, so it was kind of weird for them to be like, Riley, go get it, Riley, do it. I was okay, I will. Yeah, I don't know how realistic it is to like control a dog. Like, are they giving it like shocks or something? I don't know. But regardless, the gameplay mechanic was cool. You get to like stalk around and then attack people as a dog, and then also when you're in your regular first-person perspective, you can use the dog to attack people. You can be like attack, and they'll attack. So that was pretty cool. I mean, I felt actually like connected to them, which is something that Call of Duty is good at sometimes, where you kind of actually feel like you're like, oh yeah, this is my team. Like we're taking people out. Contextual lean is in this game. And the first time I saw that was in Battlefield, and it's in this game too. But I kind of like the way they implemented it in this one. Like in Battlefield 4, you just kind of go up to any wall, and it's like, maybe you can lean around it, maybe you can't, I don't know. But in this one,
right-click to lean, if applicable.
Yeah. But in this one, there's a little marker on your reticle, so you can like tell, like, oh, I can lean now. So then I actually ended up using it way more, because I go up and I'm like, oh, I can lean. So then I go, but in Battlefield, I was like, I really like contextual lead and I want to try to use it. And then I'm like trying to use it and it doesn't work sometimes. It's like, what the heck? But yeah, so they added that kind of stuff. You can also run and slide, which is kind of cool. I don't know.
I try to be way too heroic and sometimes in like a large firefight where I just run, slide, and be like, yeah, and then I die.
There was also vehicle combat in this one. I mean, they do vehicle combat quite a bit in Call of Duty.
Yeah.
But what kind of? I mean, after playing Battlefield, it's kind of like it feels like an arcade game. You know, like you're on a track.
Yeah.
The helicopters, particularly, like, you know, playing the helicopters in the Battlefield 4 beta. And multiplayer and stuff, it's like you can't even fly, like unless you actually like learn how to do it.
And tanks were like super easy to drive, unlike where if you saw our Battlefield 4 review, I can't commandeer a tank for the life of me. So
we haven't put our Battlefield review out yet, but it's somewhere.
Soon.
But yeah, the tanks actually felt a lot like the tanks in Battlefield 3 when there was a tank mission. Was there a tank mission in 4 too?
Yeah, there's
a system cut out.
Yeah. There's a few. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Anyways, so non-campaign. That's enough about the campaign. Multiplayer. So that when we did when we tested out the game, we got it early, so online wasn't available. But we played with bots.
Coming from playing Black Ops 1 to going directly to Ghosts, the artificial AI got like super smart. I don't know what happened. Like I had it set on regular, thinking, oh yeah, they're bots still. They're going to be stupid. I got my ass kicked. I set it down to recruit. Couldn't get a single kill streak. But maybe that's just me and my Call of Duty skills where they're a pretty pile of duty.
They're becoming smarter.
Yeah.
They're taking over. Yeah, so actually in multiplayer, there's also a giant soldier creation part where you can customize your soldier, and there are new perks. You can choose which perks are going to come, and they're actually quite a bit different than the old ones. You can play as a female. There are a bunch of little changes in multiplayer. There's squad mode, in which you can build your own squad. You can customize them. I think it said you can customize their armor, their head, their helmet, and their gender. And apparently that's 20,000 combinations or something. I don't know how.
And then you can take your squad, go online and compete against other squads. So that's pretty neat. To see, how your squad would do against someone else's.
And each squad member levels up, and when they get to the highest level, they prestige, and then you actually get a prestige level as well. So there's actually some incentive to like go into that level or mode if you don't want to.
Speaking of modes, there are new game modes. Cranked, that game mode, once you get a kill, you gain speed and damage, but have 30 seconds to get another kill, or you explode.
Which is actually kind of crazy. I mean, you feel like you're like, oh man, it gets way more frantic. So that's
if you're a camper, that's your worst nightmare.
Yeah. And then there's search and rescue, so that's like search and destroy in the previous games. But when someone dies, teammates can either recover your tags and revive you, or the enemy can get your tags and then you're out of the game. Overall, multiplayer looks like it actually has some cool changes, like the new slide mechanic and mantling things. Apparently, when you mantle objects, you keep your momentum. I don't know if you experienced this, but when I was playing Call of Duty in the previous games, you mantle something and then you just kind of like, and then you kind of keep going. It's like, okay. So now it's kind of like, woo, and you just keep your momentum.
So if you play through campaign mode, you actually eventually unlock Extinction mode. So it's basically like Black Ops' zombie mode, but in this case, the Ghost equivalent is going around destroying alien nests with a big drill. And then you'll have to defend the drill while, chasing off evil aliens trying to suck your brain.
Yeah, so it's a lot like the zombie mode from the previous ones, and I played zombies a lot actually I played I think every iteration of zombies quite a bit. I love zombies, and it's a lot like that, but it's a lot different too. Like in zombies, in the zombies mode, you get maybe 1 or 2 hits. If you get Juggernaut, you get more hits, but In this one, you start off with, they can hit you a few times. It's like normal Call of Duty health, which I kind of liked because I find it so annoying in zombies when it's like, I'm doing so good, Oh, no, there's one zombie,
no.
and I'm dead. Oh, okay. So that was pretty cool how they changed that. Also, each player has a certain class in Extinction. What class did you play?
The first one. The one before tank. Because
Yeah.
I was too immersed to like be able to, I'm going to try, once I've unlocked tank, I'm going to try that out. And I was like, no, I'm going to see how far I can get in one go.
Yeah, I just played the first one too because I was like, I don't want to go too much. But there's a weapon specialist, tank, engineer, and medic. I think those are the 4. So they all have different drops and upgrades and different things they can do with their classes. So that's kind of cool. It requires a lot of strategy, and it seemed to get harder the more people you played with. So that's kind of a cool scaling mechanic.
Like I remember playing by myself and getting like way further than when I asked people to come over and try out the game. They're like, why is this so hard? I was like, it didn't seem that hard when I was playing by myself, but I guess they figured if there were more people, then obviously they're crank up the difficulty just to make it a better overall experience.
Yeah. Now, in terms of the graphics, there have been some different opinions on the internet about what the graphics are like. I mean, to me, it just seemed like they put some more some new textures on the old stuff. It pretty much looks exactly the same as Black Ops 2 or Modern Warfare 3, which is like, come on, up the graphics. I mean, even on next gen consoles and like PC, depending on if you have like really good hardware, it pretty much looks the same. I mean,
yeah. The graphics did not wow me out whatsoever. It seemed like the same old stuff we've seen over and over again.
Yeah.
So,
but I mean, like, people are buying Call of Duty, it's not like a beautiful game. Like Battlefield 4, you look at it and you're like, wow, okay, this can look really good. But Call of Duty, I feel like people are buying it more for like, I'm an
like
FPS junkie, and
yeah.
No offense to Call of Duty players. Wait, I didn't mean that. Wait.
Enjoyment. I really like the plot this time around. Although, if my one complaint about Ghost was that the storyline was way too predictable. I was sitting there, I was like, I bet you this is gonna happen. And literally 2 minutes later, it's like, I told you.
Were you talking to yourself?
Yeah.
It's not healthy. Actually, I think it is healthy. I have a psychology degree. I should know that. Anyways, yeah, the campaign was cool. I mean, I appreciate it compared to like Battlefield 4 because Battlefield 4, it's kind of like it feels like they're trying to force this connection, and in Call of Duty, it's just kind of there. You have to play the campaign to know what I'm talking about, but there's a detail about it. I won't spoil it, but it makes you really connected to your squad and who you're fighting with. So I thought that was pretty cool. But like, it does what Call of Duty does best. It's got giant set pieces, destruction, crazy stuff, and some of the levels, it felt really good progressing really fast through it. It was like and you feel super badass, so that was cool. In terms of replayability, I mean, there are collectibles.
Yep.
Did you get any of those?
Nope.
I didn't either. They're called Rourke files, and apparently you can find them in the campaign, but I did not find any. So if you can find those, right on. Extinction is never ending, so that's awesome. I mean, huge replayability, obviously.
Yeah.
And multiplayer, it's a giant, major league gaming game, so obviously you know what it is about that. Conclusion, Jack. What do you give it in Mohawks?
This time around, Call of Duty Ghosts, I give it 3 out of 5 Mohawks.
You don't really even have. I
Yeah.
mean, I guess it's technically a Mohawk still. It's shaved.
Yeah. I was too sick to do my hair this morning.
Why 3 out of 5, Jack?
Well, I enjoyed the plot. The story was really good. The newer multiplayer options with Extinction and just overall like squad modes, they're really interesting. But there just wasn't that wow factor for me personally to give it a high rating.
It is a cool campaign. It's like giant. It's a AAA title. There's giant explosions, giant everything. Everything's big, over the top. But I mean, at the same time, there was this connection with your squad. I would like to see a little more like unpredictable things happen. Like Jack said, a lot of stuff happens in the campaign. You're just kind of like, well, of course. And if it was a little more shocking, it would be like, whoa, that was awesome. But as it is, it's just kind of like, oh, of course they did that. But I don't know. I don't know how to fix it. Don't ask me. I'm just saying. Okay, first impressions. Extinction looks really cool. I feel like I would spend a lot of time on that.
Same here.
And multiplayer is multiplayer. I mean, it's fun. If you like Call of Duty multiplayer, you like multiplayer. Anyways, that's what we thought of Call of Duty Ghost. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to subscribe for more tech news, reviews, and tutorials.
See you later.